a Q&A. Today, I don't believe we put out a specific theme, so we're really just open and taking any questions. Um, yeah, so we can get started if anybody needs a refresher, which everybody in here I feel like has joined before. If you want to ask a question, go ahead and hit that react or reacts button down at the bottom, and then you can click the raise hand button, and then we'll take your questions as they come in. And perfect, looks like we'll start with Aaron.
Good morning, or I guess where you guys are at, maybe it's afternoon.
Yep.
We're setting up a promotions page on our website that will most likely be linked through like a Facebook ad or a Google ad. When is there any way to set up the link on a website to link right in to add that promotion? Just like if we're using smart marketing, they're able to push the button and apply it to an account. Is there any way to make that happen?
Oh, specifically on the account, or sorry, not on the account, on your website.
Yeah, so that when they push a button in the website, which I know isn't the smart app, but is there a way to make that website click turn into a promotion through smart?
Yeah, so you could use a coupon code for it to generate a link and put it onto the website so they can click the button and it'll be
Okay.
added.
Is that something I would call for to get someone to help me set that up or
Yeah, yep.
how to find that? I do know how to find and create a barcode that they could bring the coupon in and scan the barcode, but I don't know how to make that connection with the website. So
Yeah, that's okay. We can get that done for you.
excellent. Thank
So
you.
just let us know what promotion it is and if you have like a timeline that you want it to be done by, and then we can get that done for you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome. Is that all you have for right now?
I think so, yeah. Maybe I'll come up with something else, but thank you.
All right, sounds good. All right. Do we have any other questions right now? Again, if you are newer, you joined after I made the little spiel, you can go ahead, hit that react button, and then hit the raise hand button, and then you we'll call on you, and then you can ask your question. All right. Let's go River.
Good afternoon.
Hey.
I was just wondering if maybe you had a list or suggestion of like best practice KPIs and reports that maybe other people have been requesting that we might want to, implement for ourselves if we haven't already.
Hey, River. Can you guys hear me? All right. So there's quite a wide variety of custom reports that our clients are using. So usually when I'm asked this question, I actually like to kind of turn it back around and ask, where do you feel like you don't know enough about your business? Where do you feel like there are gaps in your knowledge or your visibility? And we can look at building some reports that sort of work towards opening that visibility up a bit. Um, there's yeah, most of the reports that we as a company have come across or developed over time that we think are useful to the average smart client are already part of the built-in reports package. So the default KPIs generally should cover pretty much everything that we think uh, makes sense as a generic all-purpose kind of report that should work for most businesses. That being said, that list of reports has evolved over time, so there may be some things we've added to it since your company was implemented. So I encourage you to submit a ticket with roughly the same question. And if you have any pain points, like I said, or anywhere that where you feel like you lack visibility, mention that as well. And I'll be happy to help you figure those out.
Thank you very much, Mike. I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Absolutely. All right. Let's see who's next. I don't have the chat open. Hey. Mark, yeah, so I see your question in the chat about the mobile app. We are squashing them daily. I believe we just released a major fix for something that there was the printing error, I think. Yeah, so we're squashing the bugs left and right as we find them as quickly as we can. So I don't, there's not an explicit update on that other than we keep working on it. If you have any particular issues that are holding you back, either slowing you down or keeping you from being willing to try it or to continue using it, please let us know. We'd like to look at those specifically.
So, and just to piggyback off that, we have found quite a few bugs within the last week or so, and we have been addressing them, if not daily, like every other day. So if there are things that you are finding that are new, or maybe that you've seen multiple times and it kind of is annoying, definitely let us know and we can add that to our list and hopefully get it knocked out within a week. But I think I saw Aaron's name first, and then we'll go to Jay.
Hi again. Uh, One question about that, as the bug fixes happen, we don't have to like re-update the app or just opening it again, like closing it, opening it gives you all the updates, correct?
Yeah, it should, but also if you're ever curious about it, you can always go to the App Store and then research up the app and then make sure it just says open or see if it says update on it. But it should,
Okay.
whenever you close it, it should be updating.
Okay. And then the other question I had, and can you walk us through one time? I know you did this like a month and a half ago when I was on. Can you walk us through real quick the proper way to do inventory, like to clear the inventory and then how you scan it in and make sure that you're doing that correctly?
Yeah, let me see if I've got something pulled up here. Okay, yep, I've got one pulled up. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so we are just here at inventory. I selected, just shelves for this company. And right now it looks like they've only scanned one area or one location, but
Okay.
here we have the reset button. If you don't have this reset button and you need it for whatever reason, say it's not allowing you to, or say this is blanked out at 16 of 16, but the last full inventory day didn't update, definitely reach out to us so we can get that fixed for you. It is an ongoing thing that we've been dealing with,
Yeah, I don't
but
think I
it's
have that
rare.
reset button. That's
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, if you could send us the location that you're looking at, and we can fix that pretty quick. It's
okay.
not too bad.
But once I have
Uh,
the reset button, what's the moves here?
yeah. So from there, what you're going to do is once you've identified the location that you're trying to do and all of the barcodes that you need to do, you would just go into your racking module, and then you would just scan. It doesn't have to be in any specific order, but you do have to scan each location and everything that is on that slot, because you're just reaffirming what Smart knows and just letting it know, hey, yes, you are still correct. But if it's showing like, hey, I have 3 other bags that you should have scanned, but you didn't, they're going to populate under missing bags.
Okay.
So then Smart's going to say, hey, I have something under, rack number 2, and you didn't scan those. Where are they? Um, and then you can, begin to find it, or that's going to help you keep track of.
Now, if you
Um,
had a customer pick up like, 3 orders, and this isn't really a problem for us anymore because we require a scan for every bag that goes out. But if you have a CSR that, cashes somebody out but only gives them 2 of their 3 bags, now you have an item on the conveyor that's been paid for that's still there. This will actually put it back into inventory as a paid item, right?
yeah, yep. So if it was paid for, well, now you got me thinking about something, because I'm thinking about people. Well, yeah, but sometimes people can pick up pick up and pay for just what's been picked up, and then the stuff that was not physically picked up wasn't paid for. Is the only thing that I'm thinking. But in the scenario that you're talking about, I think everything would be paid for in full, but it would just be still on that rack in Smart and not actually picked up. So
Okay. All right, so I just need to figure out how to get that reset button on there, because you press that first before you scan the locations, right?
you don't have to, like if you come in the morning. So this resets every day. Every day that you go in, it creates a new document for us in the database. And then you can just start as soon as you walk in. You can, okay, I'm going to run inventory right now and start at 1 and just go all
Okay.
the way through and then come and check this out.
Okay.
And then it should show, however many locations you have. If it's, 160 or 10, it should show 10 of 10 or 160 of 160. And then
Okay,
it will show
perfect.
that last full inventory date.
All
But
right, thank you.
if you are really anybody, if you're having that issue where it shows the wrong last full inventory date and you just did it, reach out to us and we'll get that fixed for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Looks like we've got a bunch of questions now. All right, let's go to Jay.
My question is in regards to the app. We talked about it last week, the latency issues. Is that still a thing or is that addressed?
I don't remember any latency issues last week. I'll be
We were
honest.
talking about the background refresh could be an issue with the phone timing out as well.
Yeah, I'll be honest, Jay, I don't remember the entire issue about that right now. Feel bad.
No, don't feel bad. I just
But I can,
thought there was an update.
yeah, I mean, we haven't had any latency issues as of this week. There hasn't been anything that's, tripped the radar for it. So maybe that's why it's just not coming to memory, because we haven't really had the issue, but I'm sure. The only one that I can remember off the top of my head was there was a notifications portion where notifications were coming in about like 25 minutes later than when they were originally sent. So people would send in a text message, but they wouldn't get the notification on Smart until like 20 minutes later. So that's the
Okay.
one that comes to the top of my head, but
All right.
maybe,
No problem.
yeah. All right. Let's go to Marlene.
Hi, going back to the mobile app, the new instance or version. So do you have to turn that on my side, or once they log out of the phone at the end of the day, when they log in the morning, does that automatically come up?
To get the new app, they'll have to download the actual, because it's a completely different app. So if you guys are still using the old app, they'll have to, and there should be a button if you're using Apple. There should be a button at the top. It says, upgrade
Software
to,
update, right?
yeah, upgrade to the new app, and then it'll give them instructions after that it'll have a button that says download, and then it'll take them to the App Store. It'll start downloading it. Then if they go back to that instruction page, it'll say transfer station information, and then they can click that button and it'll swap everything over. So that way they don't have to, give support a call and say, hey, I need an auth code. I need to make sure that all this stuff is good. But obviously if it doesn't work the first time, let us know, and then we'll give you a hand.
Okay, so what's the name of the app? Can you show us what the icon looks like?
Yeah, so it's blue. It's SMRT and it's just blue and it says smart delivery. Might
Got
take
it.
me a second to pull it up.
I'm gonna do it on my own phone while we're on the phone. Tell you what.
Actually, I've got it right here. I'm just gonna show you on a phone. Hopefully you can see that. Maybe not. Can't see.
And what is it called?
Smart delivery.
Smart SMRT. Now, will that knock me out of being able to go into Smart, like on the phone, if I have to go look for something? Or it's just a new,
Yeah,
you know,
it's It's a totally new app, so you will, if you replace the station that previously was on the old app, it will remove it from the old app and put it onto the
Got
new
it.
app.
Okay,
And then just to note that you can only make a mobile or a delivery station on this app. So some people have reached out and said, "Hey, I generally use an office station."
right.
So if you are one of those people that uses that, you won't have that functionality on the new one.
Gotcha. Okay.
But again, there is no rush to move everybody over to the new app, considering, it is brand new launch and we do have some bugs to work out. But
Okay, we'll wait a little. I'll wait. Thanks.
yeah, is that all you have right now?
Yep.
All right, very good. All right, let's go to Billy.
Hey guys, two questions or slash issues. The next button, is that only for people that do not use barcodes?
No, that next button is for everybody.
Well, because I'm having an issue of you hit the next button and it just goes into, okay, what kind of item is it? It
Yeah, that's
doesn't
true.
prompt, it doesn't prompt for a barcode.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's
Y-
not good because it's easy for CSR to bypass that.
yeah, so the one thing is that it's they don't have to use the next button, but also it doesn't stop them from putting in a barcode. And you could also
It
set it
doesn't
to
stop them, but the best thing is the way you have the save and it prompts automatically for a barcode. So that's the first step. I mean, otherwise they start detailing and if they're chatting next to each other or, they just, their attention's drawn away. It's too easy to happen, especially when it's next to the save button. It has happened and they're not realizing it and they're just going into the motion of, okay, the screen tells me this. It doesn't automatically jump to the barcode. You have to be like aware that, oh, wait a minute, because they're so used to scanning the barcode. Then it goes to that, it goes to the item, uh, color, plat,
Okay, so let me ask you this. What would be the best corrective course of action for it to make it, work better and function better for CSRs and for, all companies using Smart?
Well, it's pretty much the same button. I thought maybe you were using it for people that do not have barcodes. Because it was a real issue. All of a sudden they're scanning at the plant and they're like, wait a minute, it's not in the system.
Gotcha. So you
Um,
think that if people are set up to barcode, that we should remove the next button for them to make it, you know,
correct. Either that or move it way over. So they're not like next to each other and even hit it by accident.
gotcha. Okay.
Because it just automatically prompts for the item. And then they don't really go over to the barcode area to enter it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. It just prompts straight into a detailing screen and it actually
Right,
hides the barcode on the right side. Yep.
exactly. And annotation come up and stuff like that. So that's one issue. The other one is when we have like, let's say, for example, a two-piece suit that's associated, okay? And they are both pieces are for repair and we send it for repair. One will go to repair and one we cannot send to repair. It will automatically say inspection.
Are you clicking to repair for both items or just one?
Correct, for both items. Like we try to click repair only, repair only. We do repair only. And you know how it says detailed after you close it?
Yeah.
And then
Yep.
you have to send it to repair?
Yeah.
Once you send one of the pieces to repair, the other one pops up inspection. You cannot change it. If you go to change it, you put it to repair, the other item turns into inspection. It goes into inspection. You can't put both to repair only.
hmm
And I think it's only associated items.
Yeah, I think that's what Mike just said. Okay, we'll test it, and then if it is a problem, we'll submit it up and get that reworked.
Yeah, what is the inspection like? Is that just a glitch or the for the associated items?
Yeah, it sounds like it's just for associated items, just to make sure that they both got what needed to be done.
Okay. Yeah, because it sends one to inspection and then one to repair only, like to repair. When you have like you
Yeah.
have pressing, repair, inspection, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, yeah, we'll definitely
Okay.
need to test that out with associated barcodes and see how it reacts and make sure it works properly for you.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, not a problem. Okay, looks like we had another question, Nubia. Still having troubles after the Stripe terminal install. We are getting cash transactions, getting charged to the card. Surcharge, even when the box for the surcharge is not checked. Is there anything we can do on our end to eliminate the issue? So, in my experience, whenever this has happened, the CSR has asked or hasn't asked a question of, hey, are you paying with cash or card? And then they're just automatically, just going in and hitting card payment and then waiting for it to process. At that point, the credit card surcharge has already been applied to the order. So then customer says, "Oh wait, no, I want to pay with cash. I have that much on me," and then they go back to change it, and then oh sorry, we need to wait for it to time out, and then once it times out, they immediately go into hit cash because the customer is getting impatient at this point, and they just want to give you cash and walk away. So at that point, whenever that happens, the the credit card surcharge is already on it, and it needs to be removed prior to the next payment of cash, because you've already told the system, hey, they're paying with cards. So then it's leaving it on there. It's leaving the surcharge on there. So anybody can do that so you have to go back into the close tracker and hit the exit button on it. I can probably pull it up. But am I explaining that properly? Yeah. Okay, gotcha. Let me see if I can pull one up really quick just to show everybody if they aren't sure. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, let's put this out of the way. All right, so I'm gonna go to a test customer. And they don't have an order, but one piece. Maybe they won't ask for more. Let's see. Okay. All right, so it's assembled, it's all done. Let's force finish it. Cool. Customer comes in to pay for it. They hit pay. And then once they hit Stripe terminal card, this company doesn't have credit card surcharging on, so I kind of have to simulate it. But essentially, once you hit pay here, if it was turned on, it's automatically adding a surcharge like this. And we'll just use this test one. It's automatically adding it right here. And so as they're letting it time out, this is already applied to it. and then they're coming back in and hitting pay again and going to cash where that price just went up by, in the scenario, went up by $5 because of the surcharge. So what the CSR just needs to be conscious of is that if that happens, or you know, they somebody says, "Oh no, I'll just pay cash," they need to come here, click here, and then click delete. So that way it goes back to normal, and then it goes back to the original price, and they can go through and hit pay. But the best method I could give you is just to try and get your CSRs to ask, "Hey, are you paying cash or card?" So you can avoid that frustration of going through all of these steps. Right, perfect. And for those who joined later, or this is your first time joining the Q&A, if you want to ask a question, you can hit the react button down at the bottom and hit raise hand, and then we will call on you and you can ask whatever question you'd like. Perfect, let's go with Jay.
All right, so back to that save button and the next button. Can that just be moved around? Because that does cause problems with people talking and, they hit the button and, then you got to go through all of that to correct it. But I think, like it was said before, if it was put somewhere else, it's a good concept. I like it, but I don't think it should be next to the save button, because that's where I want to say that's where all the issues are coming in, because it's just on autopilot. They go and hit save and or hit next, and then you got an issue.
Yeah, I agree. I've caught myself doing it a couple times whenever I'm testing stuff. I almost did it while I was doing that right there. So it does trip people up, that's for sure. Like I said, we can only I can only go back and see and just report like, hey, people are kind of frustrated by the next button. Can we put some type of setting or some type of wall that you had the option of turning it on or off? Because some people do like it, others, just like everybody here is kind of saying, hey, it's not a great function for us, and it's creating more issues than good.
Yeah, and I don't think it's really a on my end anyway. I don't think it's really a something that we won't use. I just think it being too close to that safe button. I mean, if it's somewhere out of the way, to the right or something, in the middle or something, not,
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah,
I don't think making an auto a button to turn it on or turn it off is any better. I just say move it, and I think you got a better outcome.
right. Gotcha.
That's it.
Okay, all right. I'll think of an area that we could move it to, and if anybody has suggestions as to where it would be great to move it to, that would definitely help us, because we do like getting feedback of the actual operators who are doing it. Yeah. All right, let's go to Mark.
Hello.
Hey.
Got a question that I asked a long time ago through a support ticket, but I'm not sure if the new mobile app caused any update with it. But basically, having a report that easily identifies pickups versus deliveries, because I don't think there is a clear identifier for pickup versus delivery other than looking to see if there is existing orders for their customer. Am I mistaken?
I mean, kind of. There's not a very good way to track it in reports, that's for sure.
Yeah.
The only other way that you can kind of do it is like hand clicking through each. Um, I think Mike's testing it right now, but
There's no like flag. There's no
y-
like field of this is like a, binary. This is a pickup, this is a delivery.
right, right, yeah. If you heard
And
Mike, you can see it. You can see it in the manifest, which now our manifest does have history to it, so you can go back in time and see it. But
But even in the manifest, I think I haven't noticed recently, but I know that when we were in beta testing, it would show pickup even though it was a delivery. I think I discussed that with you, Tyler.
Yeah, that should be fixed now.
Okay. So
Should be.
it's a trustworthy, if it says pickup, it means pickup, and if it says delivery, it's delivery. And if it says both, that means there's definitely both.
Yeah, yep.
Okay. Yeah, because the way that we've been doing it for the past 6 years is like if someone has a delivery, we'll just schedule another stop for that customer on that same day to alert our drivers that this is a pickup and it's a delivery. Like we'll do a double stop basically.
So, hey, Mark,
Hello.
I wanted to kind of explain the design intent behind the way Smart tries to communicate this information to you. So in various places where you look, including in the delivery module, and also I think it's either in the load list, no, it's the to-do list in the delivery app. And this should be the same for both versions. There's a little circle sort of icon with a number in the center for every stop. If that number is a 0, it is an implied pickup. That number represents the number of bags due back to that customer that are ready or expected to be delivered. So if it's a 0, it's a presumed pickup. If it's anything greater than 0, then it's definitely a delivery. But the assumption is that whenever we visit a customer's address, we're also going to check for pickups. So we assume every stop is a pickup, and it might also be a delivery. That's kind of how Smart looks at it, and it's designed with that in mind.
I see. Okay. Every stop is a pickup by default.
Yeah, or at least a potential pickup. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Because if you're going there, you might as well check and see if they have a sale for you, right?
That makes sense. That
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah. I guess the confusion for us started when a customer would have deliveries, but then they would also request a pickup for that day. And
I do
then
think. I'm sorry. Go
yeah.
ahead.
No, go. Yeah, I was just saying a driver would go there and be on autopilot and not realize that there is a pickup in addition to the deliveries.
Yeah. So in the new app, I'm pretty sure we've also added the word pickup in the to-do list to complement that the circle with the bag count. And I'm not 100% sure about this, but I think we actually sort of considered what you're pointing out here. And I want to say that even if there is a number of bags displayed, if the customer has also indicated that they want a pickup, then it will also say pickup, I think.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure about this, but I think we've actually sort of addressed this in that respect.
I appreciate it. So, I mean,
Mhm.
one last thing, because you mentioned the circle with the numbers. I know in
Mhm.
the old app, it was very clear. That circle, it's like really large. It has the
Yeah.
number of orders that you're looking for, if it's ready, not ready.
Mhm.
In the new app, I think there's confusion for me personally, because I use it every day, like versus this like the stop number, because it's a circle with the stop number
Mhm.
versus circle with the orders. Because that's what the legacy app, it shows like a circle with the number of orders for that stop, right? Isn't that was that what you were just saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
But like if
Yeah. And then
I'm
the
looking,
stop number, I think, is on the other side of like between left and right. I think the circle is on, gosh, it's been a while since I looked at the old app. The circle's on one side, and then I think the stop number is on the
yeah,
other side.
yeah,
Can't
I'm
remember quite a
looking
bit.
at one right now, but like one of our manifests, and it just has a sequential 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the left side of the customer
Mm.
name, and yeah, it's not like showing. I know for sure there's an order for one of them, and then or for several of them. They all have orders, but they're not,
Okay.
it is not showing that like it did in the legacy app.
Okay, yeah, yeah, so it does say the word pickup when it's a pickup, and yeah, I see what you
Yeah.
mean with we don't have the bag count here anymore. So, okay, the idea I think is when you're in the to-do list, you're gonna see stops numbered sequentially, and if it says pickup, then you can assume there's no bags. This is what I'm inferring by what I'm seeing on Tyler's phone here.
Yeah,
And then
and that's what I was.
if there is a
Sorry.
delivery, then it doesn't say pickup. And then when you open the stop, it lists the bags. So you'll see how many. So it's not keeping that information from you. It's just not presenting it on the outside in the
Yeah.
to-do list view.
Yeah, and that's the kind of bird's eye view from a driver perspective where they are looking at that to-do list and they immediately get a nice idea of, is this stop a pickup and a delivery? Because I see one of our stops, it says pickup, like you're saying. When you click into it, there's several orders.
Okay. Yeah, and so that's what I was talking about a minute ago when I said even if there's a delivery, if the customer's indicated that they also want to pick up, then I think that's what's going to happen, and that's exactly what
Okay.
you're describing there. So if they
Okay.
have some bags to deliver, but they've also requested a pickup on the same date.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, because I know I've seen other stops that say pickup and it shows that there's deliveries. Like it has two indicators on that to-do list. It's not just showing pickup on the to-do list side, right? Like there's two indicators on the new app, right?
Yeah, kinda. So it's pickup or not is the
Really?
indicator I see.
I
Yeah.
could have sworn it. I could have sworn I saw like it shows both. Like it shows pickup and delivery, but I don't
Now
know.
the example we're logged into here only has 2 stops on this route. So let's see if we can find one that's got a few more examples to look at.
Mm.
Okay, here we go. Thank you, Jason. Okay. Yes, we get the load list icons. Okay. Let's see if you can kind of see this
Yes,
stop down here has 2 different load list icons indicating
exactly.
that we have
Yeah,
something hanging and we have something boxed. This
exactly.
means we have something hanging. Yeah. So it's there. I see where it could be a little more clear. It seems to me that just a simple bringing the bag count back would make a lot of sense, right?
Yeah. The
Yeah.
legacy bag count was like a nice bird's eye view of like, is this a pickup delivery and how many orders are associated to the stop?
Okay.
And I think it does show that sometimes, but maybe I'm just like confusing the two apps. But yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Admittedly, I've not spent as much time with the new app as I would have liked, just because I have other things I'm doing too. But so I'm definitely gonna get with the team, and we'll mention the bag count thing, and then I'm gonna reinstall the app again because I need to refresh it on my
Copy.
phone, and I'll play around with it and see what options are there and what I can get to display.
Thank you.
And yeah, we definitely want it to provide that useful information that's actionable immediately in the moment, so that you can make intelligent decisions as you run that route.
Yeah.
Because it gets hot out there. We're tired. It's a long, they're long days sometimes, and the more information that can make your job easier, the better.
For sure.
I'm with you on
Thank
that.
you. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Enrique.
Hey, this isn't necessarily like a question. It's just something that came up to my mind, and this is just regarding sending out the text. I was looking at Twilio. Is there any way, whether it's like on your end or kind of our end, to when we send out texts, can they ever appear that it's coming from an iPhone? I know that's very, very minor. I know that's not, but because I was looking at it and I get a lot of texts from different services, and sometimes some of them come in blue. And just because I really like Smart, and anything that's tiny like that makes it appear just so much better. But when a customer has an iPhone, is there a way to have that where we're sending out the text and it comes out like it's coming from an iPhone? Is that like a thing, or?
Sorry, I was confirming something. So what would be like the main interest point as for doing that? And that's just me asking out of
It
curiosity.
was just something that came into my mind, and I was just like, it looks. I know this isn't like I have an iPhone and Android. A lot of people have a lot of phones, but we get a lot of customers that have just, especially with iPhones. That's just like a very nice thing. Like, it's just something you know, in my eyes, that's just like a very nice thing as a business. Like if you have an iPhone, like a customer, right? And I know there's a lot of people that have just Androids overall, but if you're a customer and we're texting you and then those things pop up in blue, is there any way at all that, and I was looking at into Twilio and it was saying like, yes, but I'm not really touching any of like that stuff. I'm just kind of curious if that was a thing.
Hey, Enrique.
Yes.
I'd, so first, I have two questions about this. One is what you're asking for? Do you want the customer to see? Do you want it to appear to the customer as though you are responding from an iPhone if they're using an iPhone?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's
And then
not
again, it's
it's
nothing
not
too
about the
big. You know,
text color in Smart. It's about how the customer
oh
sees
yeah,
it.
exactly.
I
Yeah,
gotcha.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Yes. Yes. Yes.
And what I just want to understand. This is part of how we evaluate feature requests and whatnot. I want to understand the value to your business and kind of how
It
you see value to other businesses
was just
in
something
doing
minor
that.
that I kept on thinking about in terms of like marketing, right? Because you know, I mean, I get a lot of texts from all types of things, right? And they come with a number. It's in green. Like you know, if I respond to it, I just thought it's a really nice kind of feature, you know, that because a lot of people spend time on their portal, like our customers. And I think I requested something else, like not necessarily, but I was thinking about like having our or social medias within the portal, like when somebody's in like with us, right? And I mean, I'm based in Washington State, and I'm aware that there's a couple big dry cleaners that have Smart, and it just kind of differentiating ourselves kind of from them when someone is in our portal that has used other dry cleaners that they're like, oh, you know, and then I'm not necessarily nothing to do with TikTok or anything like that, but just kind of having like, you know, because sometimes people support another business because of their story or because there's a family-owned business or because of whatever.
I
But just
see.
kind of having that,
To
you
like
know,
makes
just
it feel a little more personal, right?
exactly, you know, and people are like, oh, you know,
Yeah.
they do
Okay.
this, and then it's nothing big, it's just something minor. And again, Smart has really nice features in terms of our customers because I get it back when they're like, hey, I requested, I'm on my way to the store. That's like, you know, it's like a feel good type of feeling. I don't know if that makes sense.
I getcha. Okay, so it basically it creates value by improving the vibe of the customer relationship almost. I
Yeah,
can see
you
that. I
know,
see
yeah,
where you're going
and
from
you know,
there.
I mean, the interactions are less than 30 seconds. Shouldn't, I honestly don't think it should be more than 2 minutes unless there's like an
Yeah.
issue, you need to process something.
Okay.
But customers come in, they go, you know, and just kind of that literally what you said.
Okay. Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. That makes sense to me. Yeah, we'll look into that.
Yeah, I was just curious, you know, just because, yeah, again, I like Smart, especially you guys, you know, everything that you guys from this meetings to recording them, I get a lot of value from them, you know, and just want to thank you.
Good. We're really glad to hear that. You're welcome. All right. Marlene, I believe, was next. Are you looking for me or Tyler, Marlene, or do you care? Oh, you're still muted.
Okay, there you go.
There we
You
are.
hold the keys. Okay. So when Mark was asking about the new mobile instance, I wanted to see what it actually looked like, you know, like a share your screen kind of thing. But, you
Mm-hmm.
know, in regard to Mark, who's now scheduling two, you know, a pickup and delivery, you would think that it's idiot proof, and every driver that goes out would think, you know, I'm delivering things. Why wouldn't I ask for the pickup? Surprisingly, that happens more often than not. And we type it in all the time. You know, if it's a delivery, we'll let them know that there's also a pickup, which I think is, I think it's in the customer notes, and the customer will put a note in. So is that still going to be visible in the new mobile app?
Yeah. Yeah. All the same notes and instructions and whatnot should still be visible. I think in roughly the same places.
Okay. And I just, maybe you don't need to do it now, but maybe you can, I'll go down after this call and load it, look at it on another one of our delivery phones. See
Mhm.
what it looks like.
Yeah. I think we did a demo. I forget if it was
I
last
don't,
week or the week before.
probably I missed it.
Uh, okay. Yeah.
Is it
So it should.
recorded?
I'm not sure if it's been uploaded. Yeah, it should be on our YouTube channel. I think it's already
Okay.
there.
All right. That's all right. I'll
Yeah,
take a
so you should
look.
be able to find that there. We'll dig it up
Okay.
and put a link in the chat.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
And we do have a demo video too, which will also, I think Tyler's going to send you. Right,
Okay.
Tyler?
Good. Thank you.
Sure thing.
Should have been sent to everybody, but yeah, I can go dig it up and send it again.
I could have missed
Okay.
it. Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, check your emails for smart systems. There probably have been some announcements that might have what you're looking for.
Okay, cool.
All right. Let's see, Jay.
In regards to the app, the time card, the time clock function, is that working like the other? Because there was a point in time that wasn't working. The
Yeah,
time card.
so it is working. There is a current issue with it though. It's not reconciling properly with the POS time card, but we are working on that, and that should be squashed pretty quick. If not tonight, tomorrow night for sure. Unless if I'm completely wrong, and then it takes a week or so because it's more in depth than what I'm thinking it is. But yeah, so you can use it, but just know that if the numbers aren't correct, that's why there is a current issue with it. Or you can wait until there is no issue with it, and then you can start using it again.
That was it. Thank you.
All right, awesome. All right, and looks like we missed a message. Daria asked, can we get a breakdown on how rewards programs work? Rewards programs work. Yes. Let me see if this company has it set up. Okay, so I'll just share my screen where it's at, and then obviously if you have further questions about it, definitely ask. But here, this can be found if you go to settings, business settings, system settings, and then you go to rewards program. It is something that you have to enable. And essentially these top, these top four, well, I mean, it goes further, but, for what you need required to automatically redeem down at the bottom. And then obviously that counts if you have redeem rewards automatically turned on. But as for this, you set your points to dollar value, and then your conversion value, and then what the conversion amount is. For this example, they have it set to, which I think this is default. So for every dollar spent, once you hit, once you hit 25 or $250, you get 25 points back or $25 back. If I'm reading that correctly.
How many points you get per dollar.
Mm-hmm.
Second number is how many credits you get per point.
Yeah, not sure if you heard Mike in that, but
Here, I'll clarify a little. The first number, reward points to dollar value, that tells Smart how many points you earn per dollar you spend. So it's a conversion rate from dollars to points. The second number is the opposite. It tells Smart how many dollars to give you when it converts your points. The third number tells you how many points you have to have before they get converted. So to keep things simple, I always recommend set either the first number or the second number to 1. Usually the first number, because it's, for most people, it's the most intuitive way to think about it. But if neither of those is set to 1, then the math is really weird, and it's hard to figure out how many points somebody's going to earn from a sale or how many credits they're going to get when their points redeem. So I apologize, I didn't catch the initial question, but that's what those fields do. So I hope we've addressed that question.
all right, looks like Daria got that, and let's shoot over to Mark.
Hi again. This is for Mike. Sorry, when Enrique was asking about the blue bubbles for iMessages, Mike, you mentioned something just about like evaluating feature requests. And I'm sorry to bring this up again. I'm sure you've heard about this from us for many, many months, but the new app, one of the biggest solutions that it gives is an iOS push notification for when a stop comes up, which is awesome. But the only issue, or where it can really add even more value, is I only get that notification if I'm in the route. For example, Route 20 manifest. It will tell me new stop added for Route 20, but it won't tell me for any of my other routes unless I'm in that route. So it really only sends a push notification for the route that I'm currently logged into. And maybe that's incorrect. My experience is incorrect, but I think that's what the situation is. I would like to solve for the notifications where any stop that's added by a customer or by someone at my facility, I will get a push notification so that I can see a native notification on the phone like I do with the new app. In addition to that, any customer communication, when I'm sending a message to a customer, hi, I'm here to pick up, when they respond, it would be great for that to be a push notification as well. Whereas right now that response doesn't come back as a push notification. So I brought this up just because I know you said, what does it do for us? What does it do for all smart users? I think there is a huge value add there for us to see those real-time notifications for communication, manifest changes, etc.
Sure. Okay. So I want to kind of work backwards. So the customer replies, I think makes total sense. I have no pushback on that whatsoever. But to push back on your main point, I'd like to just pose the thought. The vast majority of users for our delivery app are drivers that run a route. In many cases, it's the only route they run, period. But usually most of them, I'd say, run only one route a day. So having extra notifications about routes that they are not running is noise, right? And I think that's the reason mainly that we haven't set it up that way so far. I can certainly see from a management or administrative perspective where that's more helpful, more valuable. So is this scenario that as a manager, you're actually out on a route and you want to have more awareness of all your routes at the same time while you're just running one? Or is there a different scenario? Are you're out going to run several different routes at the same time? Or how does that play out?
I
And
completely
where does that
appreciate
notification fit in?
I appreciate the context that most other users don't have, that our drivers work multiple routes. That's
Mhm.
one thing. But I agree with you. There is noise. If I'm on one route, I don't need to know about another route. From a managerial, administrative perspective, absolutely. We need to have bird's eye so we can see what's happening to everybody and dispatch accordingly. Because once they leave an area, if we missed it, then we have to send them back. It's super inefficient.
Mhm.
But I can't say or understand why it can't be something that we can't toggle off and on, right? So if a user doesn't want to get, or should only be restricted to certain information, just like we can restrict, I think, like when I assign the chat log, only certain users or a group of users can see that chat log. Something similar to
Mhm.
that, so that if you are an admin user, you get all the notifications. And if you're just a driver, you would only get the route which you're assigned to, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Something along
Uh,
those lines. But my
sure.
apologies. The last part is again that
Okay.
Twilio, email, the different modes of communications that customers use, being able to respond to them promptly is really a massive like efficiency thing. Because missing it, and then you're missing up on a pickup or you're missing on a delivery that customer wants to cancel. It's a logistics issue.
Yeah. Yeah. That communication, that real-time communication is definitely important. And we understand that. The So what I'm wondering, and I don't know if I have not checked this myself, so I'm wondering if you have checked it. While you are logged into Route 1, let's say, some notifications come in for Route 2. If you then switch over to Route 2, do you see the notifications queued? Like, do you have the little, I forget if we do the badge now with a number of notifications, or I don't recall how it's displayed, but they should be queued, I think, for you, right?
I need to double check what the exact example that you just said. Like if it will populate the notification number if is that what you're saying? Like when I switch from
Yeah, essentially I'm asking when if we've suppressed or not provided the push notification because the message came in on a route that you're not currently running,
yeah.
then we still put that message somewhere.
Yeah.
And it should still be available to you in the app. You're not made aware of it at the time when it comes in unless you happen to
Right.
have that route selected in the app.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So that's we'll look at that for sure. I'm not going to promise any change on that, but we definitely want the push notifications to be. I mean, we didn't bother putting them in the software in the first place, if not to make them useful, right? So they need to add value.
Yeah.
So if we can make a relatively small change to them that multiplies their value, we're on top of that. That's definitely appealing to us. So
Yeah, and
we'll look
I
into that.
appreciate I only brought it up in this venue just because again, the whole purpose is to see if our needs align with any other people.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't mean to put you guys on the spot for this feature request, but it is something that I know would help us. So maybe if it helps others, that's fantastic.
Yeah, not at all, Mark. We put ourselves on the spot every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Join us.
Thank you.
That's what we're here for. Yeah. All righty. Let Tyler. Oh, wow. It's about time to wrap up. Tyler, that's all you.
All right, Billy, let's just, okay, well, if you still have something, Billy, you could send in, if it's real quick, let's just do this real quick and then,
Yeah, just
close it out.
quick question. The when you under the employees, there's a configuration link to employees with password and all that. What is that for exactly?
Yeah, so that's specifically for your employees that would be signing in remotely or on a station that, well, shouldn't use the word station. Um, any type of, you know, device that isn't, using the browser. So they sign in with username and password. And so if they email that configuration link, it just sends them an email and then they're allowed to make their own password. So you don't have to go in and manually do it.
So so they can sign in from anywhere. Like, are you talking about like for drivers or for like I don't
Yeah, it's for any employee that you set them up that way. So it's specific for if you know what I mean when I say using the browser version of Smart,
right. Okay.
where it prompts you to, hey, what store are you at? Your username
Yeah.
and password. It doesn't allow you to use a PIN. Generally, the everyday employee doesn't have this unless if
Okay.
your business is different and likes to work that way.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you. That was it.
Yeah, awesome. Not a problem. All right. With that, we'll go ahead and post the poll and hope everybody has a great rest of the week. Again, I'm doing open office hours every day except for after this. I'm not doing it, but Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern time to 11 a.m. Eastern, and then 3 p.m. Eastern to 4. So, all right. Have a great rest of the week.